What's up, my brothers from another mother? We got a sponsored request video today from a gentleman that wants to offer some experience from his trip to Ukraine, Odessa, trying to find a woman slash wife. I've talked about this on my channel in the past, so I'm going to add my insight towards the end, but I want to share his experience. Before we hop into it, let me just quickly show this beautiful shelving system I just put up. We've got our Make Women Great Again hat, and of course the channel sponsor, the Tactical Soap Company. There's a link pinned in the description of all the videos for a 10% off coupon code if you use Cooper on checkout. Let's hop straight into it. So we've got this guy that sent me all of his information. He's originally, well, he's from New Zealand. He said it was a scam, did it through this Ukraine bride company or bride agency. He posts a link to his complaint online, so I'll skip that. Let's just read what his experience was, so hopefully you guys can get some insight, and I'll talk about my opinion on this towards the end. This is more of a share. It's not specifically a question, so if you guys have any experiences yourself, please feel free to comment in the video as well to share whatever knowledge you might have. Helps other guys avoid these sorts of dilemmas. Anyway, he goes, traveled to Odessa to meet a woman he's been corresponding with for about 8 months. She knew 5 months in advance I was coming in our letters and gave the impression she could not wait to meet me. That's pretty much par for the course. That's what you're going to get. When I arrived in Odessa, the agency appointed a woman by the name of Tatiana as a translator. So he's going to Ukraine to meet a woman that doesn't sound like she speaks English or much of English whatsoever. So they have to appoint a translator for this trip. So it's almost like I don't know. It gets a little weird, but let's keep going. So she would be at the first meeting with his girl, Natalia. Simple desire. I'm not sure what that means. I allocated 12 days to meet and court her, and this includes so the guy books 12 days out of his life to fly to the Ukraine to meet a woman that doesn't speak English, so they needed a translator. Let's see how this goes. To court her for basically 12 days. And this includes 2 weekends as to give her free time to be with me. So he's expecting 2 weekends with her. The first dinner was at a notorious Caesar's ripoff restaurant where I was informed Natalia's mother was in hospital in Kiev and she may have to travel there. We went to 3 more restaurants over the next 4 days, including a selfie restaurant. What the hell is that? Where I was stung for a $360 plate of sushi. I'm guessing that's supposed to be sushi. Let me just quickly look up selfie restaurant. I don't know. So there's listings here for TripAdvisor for selfie Odessa restaurant. I don't know why the hell you'd go to a restaurant named Selfie. It's rated terrible. Tourist trap. Cafe Selfie is a scam place. Stay away. Do not accept dates here. Overcharge. Give commission on dating girls. Ah, there it is right there. I suspected that. All right, let's go back to this guy's email. Anyway, so he gets dragged into a restaurant where they overcharge. And obviously, the girl gets a commission to bring you there to go to the restaurant. So the translator, Tatiana, was always there. Natalia and I never dated one-on-one, even though it is her town. She then disappeared for 4 days, allegedly to visit her mother in Kiev. I had agreed to travel there with her. I don't know why you'd be doing all this stuff, man, to begin with. Anyway, I'll kind of talk about that towards the end. We meet for one more meal at another rip-off restaurant, and I try again to get Natalia to arrange me to meet one-on-one on Sunday. She agrees. The next day, Tatiana called to say she was unavailable. In conclusion, I was a victim of the usual Ukraine bride scam. The letter scam, we did not do anything. We wrote about the translator scam, you sit beside a pretty girl as long as you pay. The restaurant scam, kickbacks to the waiter staff and the girls. This is good. I mean, this guy's telling you exactly what to expect with these dating slash bride agencies in these foreign countries where guys have these hopes that they're going to find their perfect, uninfected by feminism woman. I did write a letter of complaint to the office, was basically fobbed off. Apparently the whole Natalia's mother's medical records is proof she was ill. I don't know why you'd even bother with that, to be honest with you. Guy returns to New Zealand, contacted the police to give them a statement of fraud squad detective, visa statement. Okay, my daughter's, okay. Well, and then he kind of gets into some feedback. So here's the deal, guys. I've talked about importing women from foreign countries or going to foreign countries to find somebody to wife up because you can't find them in your own country. I understand that most Western cultures, North America, the States, Canada, Great Britain, English-speaking countries, Australia, New Zealand, and such, feminism has infected the culture in such a way that I get that guys seek this hope to find the one in some foreign place that hasn't been infected, where women are still feminine, that they still do their nails, they put on makeup when they go out, they keep their hair long, they dress up and they play the feminine role, whereas in some Western places you find that women don't meet that requirement for the optics, for example, where they're fit. You get obese women, you get heavily tattooed women with purple hair and it's cut short. I get it. But the solution that these guys are seeking, I get the problem and I agree with the problem. I don't agree with the solution of going to some foreign place to try to rescue some beautiful feminine woman who's hopefully going to come back with you to your shitty feminized Western country. What will end up happening is she will eventually take on the culture where you live. It's inevitable. A lot of guys have talked about this. It's just not a good use of time. And as this guy's experience, as he's sharing, and I thank you for sponsoring the video to share your own personal story, as he's sharing himself, it's a shitty deal. You're going to fly somewhere with the expectation you're going to meet somebody that's attractive, who's going to fall in love with you and want to come back with you to your home country. What usually ends up happening, that's the expectation. What usually ends up happening is you go somewhere, it's not a good match simply because these guys are seeking younger women, hoping that they've got the capacity to attract them. They still have the sexual marketplace value to attract them, but like, things don't change. It doesn't matter if you leave your Western developed country for a Eastern Bloc country where they've got gorgeous women in Ukraine and Hungary and all that sort of stuff, and you show up, you're not, like, your sexual marketplace value is not going to go from a 6 to a 10 just because you're Western. You're going to have a slight advantage, but you're not going to go from a 6 to a 10. If you're a 6 where you live, you're pretty much going to be viewed as like a 6.5, maybe a 7. You might get like a half point boost value going there. But if she's a 10, like a smoking hot 10, and you show up as a 6, hypergamy doesn't care. Hypergamy, I'll pronounce it both ways for those of you that like to criticize me. Hypergamy does not seek its own level. It always wants to marry, date up. So you may show up as an older gentleman. Maybe you're seasoned, you've got some gray in your beard or in your hair if you have some left. If you look like me, you can shave it. But you show up expecting that these girls are going to fall head over heels in love with you because you come from a Western place and have the ability to provision a little bit more than what they got where they're at. They're scammers, as this guy experienced. For the most part, they are scammers. I have not met a single person that has told me they've had a good experience trying to wife up or date some woman from a Eastern Bloc world or Asian country like the Philippines or Thailand or something like that. They're all horror stories. And I really don't know why guys don't pay attention to these horror stories. All you have to do is Google the company name or the website that you're looking for, and then put reviews after it. So if it's Ukraine brides, put reviews, or Ukraine brides complaints. You're going to Thailand, same thing. Thailand brides, after that, put complaints or reviews. You'll find out what guys' experiences are like. If somebody doesn't have a good experience with something, they're going to share it. You will find it on the internet. It will be available. It will come to you if you search for it. But guys are masters of complicating their lives and then justifying why they do it. They get sold. Part of it is they get marketed some idea or picture. Maybe they're scrolling through the internet and there's a gorgeous picture of a hot Russian chick. And it says, "Get your hot Russian wife here. They love Western men. Fill out this form now." And you think, okay, I'll try that. And she starts talking to you. And you write some letters back and forth. Maybe you have a video call. And she says 3 words in English. And she goes goo goo gaga and says, "I love you." Right? Well, you've been sold a bill of sale that is a load of horseshit. And this is typically what happens. The exception would be somebody has a great experience, and I would imagine that might happen if you're handsome and successful and she's allowed to optimize her hypergamy when she meets you. Then she might be willing to come back, but of course you're probably going to have to deal with her family coming in tow at some point, or her mother coming in tow. And rest assured, her behavior and the honeymoon phase will change dramatically once she spends some time in your Western world and gets used to the culture. Quite often, you can go to Netflix. I've seen specials on this before, or documentaries where they follow guys around from the UK that go to Thailand or the Philippines to find these wives. And these guys are like, they're out of shape, they're obese, they're old. They're not very attractive, if I'm being honest. And their level of success is overinflated. Like these guys are letter carriers, or they might work, a council job, for the British government. So it's not like they're wealthy by any stretch of the imagination. They're not bankers. Guys that are bankers that work in London are getting swarmed by international models that are attractive, and they don't have to pay for their time. But these are guys that are going there with a hope to find these wives, and what they end up finding is they end up finding somebody that's like a couple of SMV points ahead of them. If they're a 5, they might find like a 6 or 7. I've seen these women on this Netflix special, and like they're not even worth your time. They're not attractive, and then they have to end up paying for the family. So she'll agree to come back, and he has to end up paying for the family. So it's a similar sort of situation. This chick scammed him. She took him to a restaurant where she got a cut of the commission from the selfie restaurant, paid a shit ton of money for stuff that sounds like it really wasn't worth it based on the TripAdvisor review. And that's what you get. Guys, don't waste your time traveling to these third world countries to wife up women. Go there and enjoy yourself as a tourist or as a guest. There's lots of books that I think Roosh wrote on dating, or if you want to go on like sexual escapades in some of these countries. That there's all kinds of advice and stories that are shared there from these. What do they call them? They call them destination traveled PUAs or something like that. I don't know what they're called, but you can find the information out there. But don't pay for some dating agency to put you in contact with some, good-looking woman in a European country, Eastern Bloc, former Eastern Bloc, for example, and then you fly out there and you throw money at them. He didn't talk about it specifically, but I imagine there was some correspondence back and forth about her mother being in the hospital and she needing some money for an operation. That would have been the next logical step, and if she didn't ask for it at that point, she might have proceeded to ask for it at a later date. So I don't know, guys. This is never a good idea. This is just one story. This is one experience. So I want to thank, I think his name is Rob, for sponsoring this video and sharing his own personal experience. That's my feedback. I hope that makes sense and it offers some insight. Guys, if you've experienced this in the past yourself, leave a comment below to share what your story is. But it's just bonkers that guys still do this. I'll put a card up on the top right of another video that I did talking about this. I think there was a guy that was asking about wifing somebody up in Venezuela. So I'll dig up that older video to add that feedback too. But there you have it. Guys, if you want to do this sort of thing and sponsor video topic, just go to entrepreneursandcars.com/request, and you can sponsor a video topic there, and I'll record it. If you want it private, I'll just send it to you directly. If you want it public, it's a great way to throw it on the channel and get some public feedback from these guys. He said something at the bottom here I wanted to read real quick. It's turning into a shit fight for him, dealing with the police and the company. He's obviously making a complaint. Please accept the money simply as a donation for the times I've viewed your channel. Not going to do an interview. I think that pretty much covers it all. Okay, thanks for watching today's video. See you guys later. Peace.